Section 1. The Flashpoint. Headlines from the high seas. In a world where the seas are as much a battleground as the land, the headlines from the high seas capture the attention of nations and citizens alike. The world's news feeds erupt with urgency and tension. Chinese Coast Guard fires water cannon at Philippine supply vessel near Ayungin Shoal. This incident is not just a headline, it is a stark reminder of the fragile peace in these waters. Beijing accuses Manila of illegal intrusion in Nansha waters. The rhetoric is heated and the stakes are high as both nations stand firm in their claims. The same patch of sea, Ayungin for the Philippines, Renai Jiao for China, becomes a global flashpoint. This contested area is more than just a geographical location, it is a symbol of national pride and sovereignty. These aren't isolated incidents, they're symptoms of a deep, unresolved conflict that has simmered for decades. Each confrontation adds fuel to a fire that threatens to engulf the region. Picture a small Philippine fishing boat dwarfed by a looming China Coast Guard vessel. Horns blare, radio warnings crackle, the tension is palpable, and the danger is real. For Filipino fishermen, this is no abstraction. It's a direct threat to their lives and livelihoods. Their daily struggle is a testament to the human cost of geopolitical tensions. These confrontations caught on shaky phone cameras are the visible face of a much larger struggle: sovereignty, international law, and the untapped wealth beneath the waves. The world watches and the stakes grow ever higher. Headlines escalate. U.S., Philippines discuss joint energy exploration in South China Sea. This development signals a shift in alliances and interests, drawing global powers into the fray. The United States, once a distant observer, now signals direct interest, turning a local dispute into a global chess match. The presence of U.S. Navy ships in the Pacific underscores the seriousness of the situation. American capital and technology could soon join Philippine efforts, directly challenging China's ambitions. This collaboration could alter the balance of power in the region. Each day brings new headlines: diplomatic protests, joint naval drills, economic surges on news of potential gas finds. The economic implications are as significant as the political ones. Opportunity and conflict are two sides of the same coin in these contested waters. The potential for prosperity is matched by the risk of confrontation. Every maneuver, diplomatic, military, or economic, adds another layer to this volatile situation. The world watches as each move is made with precision and caution. The world watches, breath held, as the headlines paint a picture of a region on a knife's edge. The tension is palpable, and the outcome uncertain. The stakes, not just territory, but the future of Asia's balance of power. The decisions made here will echo across the globe. In these waters, every headline is a move in a high-stakes game. The players are many, and the outcome is far from certain. The next could change everything. As the storm clouds gather, the world waits for the next move in this unfolding drama. Section 2. A sea of riches, more than just water. The West Philippine Sea is not just a vast expanse of blue on the map, it is a region teeming with life, history, and opportunity. The West Philippine Sea is more than a strategic waterway, it's a lifeline for millions and a suspected trove of oil and gas. Every day, countless ships pass through these waters, carrying goods that fuel economies across Asia and beyond. For centuries, it's fish-fed nations. Generations of fishermen have relied on these abundant waters, their livelihoods woven into the fabric of coastal communities. Now the focus is on the riches buried deep below. Oil and natural gas reserves promise to transform the region's future, drawing the attention of powerful nations. The struggle here is threefold: freedom of navigation, control of the water's surface, and the race for resources beneath the seabed. Each layer adds complexity to an already tense situation. The Philippines asserts its rights under international law. It seeks to protect its people's access to food, energy, and economic opportunity. China claims nearly the entire sea with its 9-dash line, pushing its presence further into contested waters and challenging the status quo. The U.S. steps in, backing the rules-based order and regional stability. Its involvement signals the global importance of these waters. The result? A volatile mix of interests with energy, security, and sovereignty at stake. Tensions simmer, and the world watches closely. For the Philippines, these resources mean prosperity and independence. They offer hope for a better future, from rural villages to growing cities. For China, control is about security and destiny. It sees the sea as vital to its national interests and long-term ambitions. The West Philippine Sea is a symbol, a clash of law, power, and the urgent need for energy. Its fate will shape the region for generations to come. Section 3. The Philippine Imperative, a nation's quest for energy security. For the Philippines, the West Philippine Sea's oil and gas are a national imperative, not just potential wealth. The country's growing economy and population drive soaring energy demand, but it remains dependent on volatile imports. Energy insecurity means vulnerability to price shocks, inflation, and foreign influence. Developing domestic resources is the path to true sovereignty and stability. Revenues from oil and gas could transform the nation, funding infrastructure, education, and healthcare. For a country battling poverty, this is a once-in-a-generation chance. The government's assertive stance is about necessity, not aggression. Every patrol and protest is part of a strategy to secure the nation's future. The fight in the West Philippine Sea is, at its core, a fight for self-sufficiency and hope. Section 4. China's 9-dash line, a shadow over the waves. China's 9-dash line claims nearly 90% of the South China Sea, overlapping the EEZs of the Philippines and others. Beijing's campaign of island building has turned reefs into military outposts, projecting power deep into Southeast Asia. Filipino fishermen are chased from traditional grounds. Philippine vessels face harassment and dangerous maneuvers. Tactics like lasers and water cannons assert control without open conflict. In 2016, the Hague Tribunal invalidated China's claim, affirming Philippine rights, but Beijing rejected the ruling. China's refusal to recognize international law keeps the region in perpetual tension. The 9-dash line is more than a map. It's a challenge to the global rules-based order. The standoff continues with no easy resolution in sight. The shadow over the waves grows darker with each confrontation. The U.S. has shifted from a position of neutrality to direct involvement in the West Philippine Sea dispute, marking a significant change in its foreign policy approach to Asia. Citing the landmark 2016 arbitral ruling, Washington now openly backs international law, calling for freedom of navigation and respect for maritime boundaries, while also increasing its military presence in the region. The real game-changer is the ongoing talks of joint U.S.-Philippine energy ventures in these highly contested waters, signaling a new era of cooperation that could reshape the region's energy landscape. American companies, now backed by robust military alliances, could soon operate in resource-rich areas like Recto Bank, raising the stakes for any interference and making energy security a central issue. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty between the U.S. and the Philippines now explicitly covers attacks in the South China Sea, acting as a powerful deterrent against potential aggression and reinforcing the alliance. Regular joint patrols and large-scale military exercises reinforce the alliance, demonstrate operational readiness, and send a clear message to Beijing about the seriousness of their commitment. For the Philippines, U.S. support is a powerful backstop, providing both security assurances and a stronger position in negotiations. For China, it's a strategic complication that challenges its ambitions and forces it to reconsider its next moves in the region. The U.S. aims to counter China's expansion, uphold the rules-based international order, and secure its own economic and strategic interests in Asia. The energy race has now become a high-stakes superpower showdown, with global implications for security, trade, and the future of the region. The energy wealth beneath the West Philippine Sea is staggering. Estimates suggest the South China Sea holds 11 billion barrels of oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. For the Philippines, Recto Bank is the crown jewel, potentially 5.4 billion barrels of oil and 55 trillion cubic feet of gas. Unlocking even a fraction could transform the nation's economy and energy security. These resources could power millions of homes and fund nation-building projects, but most of these reserves fall within China's 9-dash line claim, stalling exploration. Service Contract 72 covering Recto Bank has been frozen for years due to geopolitical risks. The numbers are both an incentive and a source of conflict. The prize is immense, but so is the danger. The race for the seabed's treasure is far from over. The Malampaya gas field, once the backbone of Philippine energy, is running dry. For 2 decades, it powered up to 20% of the country's electricity, 30% for Luzon. Now, production is falling fast. Depletion is expected by 2027. Without a replacement, the country faces an energy crisis, higher prices, more imports, and possible blackouts. The loss of Malampaya would cripple economic competitiveness and deepen dependence on foreign fuel. Recto Bank is seen as the logical successor, with reserves to replace Malampaya many times over. The ticking clock adds urgency to Manila's actions in the West Philippine Sea. The search for new energy is about survival, not just prosperity. The sun is setting on Malampaya. The dawn must rise from the contested sea. The stakes have never been higher. Exploring for energy in the West Philippine Sea is fraught with risk. Survey ships and rigs face aggressive Chinese responses. Ramming, water cannons, and harassment are common. The threat of confrontation is real, with potential for environmental disaster and loss of life. Economic risks are just as severe. Political flare-ups can halt billion-dollar projects overnight. China can wield economic pressure, threatening sanctions or blockades. Failed projects could embarrass the Philippine government and undermine its credibility. Even a successful discovery could be stranded by Chinese interference. The path to production is blocked by more than just technical challenges. Navigating these waters requires diplomacy, deterrence, and political will. The risks are high, but so are the rewards. The Philippines knows it can't go it alone. Strengthening alliances, especially with the US, Japan, and Australia, is central to its strategy. Joint military exercises and patrols send a clear signal. Philippine security is an international concern. The US Mutual Defense Treaty provides a security umbrella deterring aggression. Japan and Australia add support, training, and diplomatic weight. This web of alliances raises the cost for any party seeking to change the status quo by force. Strong partnerships give Manila the confidence to pursue its energy ambitions. The goal, a stable environment where international law is respected and resources can be developed. The promise of energy independence is within reach. If the Philippines can balance resolve with diplomacy, the future depends on unity, strategy, and the courage to claim what's theirs.